gentlemen, starseeds, NPCs, welcome back. Welcome back to Fear and Hopium, a not-so-current event conspiracy clarity show. The fidget spinner of podcasts, Fear and Hopium. And I am the host of hosts, the true wizard. I got a beard. I am for real. I got a nutsack made out of steel. I am Chanel. I hope you have a towel ready, because today's episode is set to be a very moist one. But as always, first things first, your update on me personally. Well, today I am not at my usual safe, undisclosed location. Today I am at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. The goddess wanted to show her bestie around. That would be goddess number 2. They are both big fans of the books and movies. And they are having a girls' night with Moaning Myrtle and Shanna. Good times. So Bob and I are here hanging out, down here in the Slytherin common room. But apparently you guys are not allowed to see what's actually behind me. For those who are savvy, they will know that the Slytherin common room is underground, and they have these big windows that look out into the lake under the school. I am sitting in front of one of those windows. And on occasion, some mermaids will swim past these here windows. And you guys are not allowed to see the mermaids. And so we are using some old school illusion magic in place of blue beam technology that I would normally use to hide my actual background. And I'm telling you this just in case you experience any nosebleeds. Or for the ladies, you might be experiencing a little bit of hysteria. Just grab your Bob, battery-operated boyfriend, and you'll be fine. And you're welcome. We have been here since Tuesday. The kids really love playing with gummers. And the dragons are having a blast getting to play with other dragons. I have been doing some exploring. I went wandering around in the Forbidden Forest. I swam underneath the lake at Hogwarts to meet the creature who lives in there. Yeah, that motherfucker was hilarious. My face still hurts from all the laughing. Just jokes. Now I know how you all feel after watching these episodes. And I rode a Thestral. Good times. Progress on my secret compound will continue when I go back home. But I am very happy to report I did manage to close that pesky portal at the bottom of the lake I accidentally opened while digging my lake on my compound. Before I closed it, I also attempted to put Lady Gaga back in there. She was having none of it. Oh well, I tried. Bob, what the fuck are you doing? No, that is not your magic wand. Stop swinging it around. Kids go to this school. There is no spell in existence that would cause anyone to want to see that. Just wow. What? Okay. I'll do it. I want to say to anyone I may have offended with any of my masterpieces, I apologize in advance because I'm going to do it again. There is a new mandate in America, and even though I live in America's hat, I still appreciate this mandate. And this mandate dictates that if something is fake and, a word I'm not allowed to say in this context on YouTube, then I am allowed to say that it is in fact fake and, a word I'm not allowed to say in this context on YouTube. It is what it is. So if you find yourself offended because your entire identity is wrapped around things that are fake and, another word I'm not allowed to say in this context on YouTube, that one's on you. If the bra fits, wear it. Yeah, that's right. Today's episode of Fear and Hopium has been brought to you by Lyrapax Pads. Brought to you by the makers of Lyrapax Tampons. I see you. And I know that some of you aren't fans of stuffing stuff up your yoni. Unless it's for fun and something you approve, but you don't like stuffing stuff up the yoni to block the Red River. Well, Lyrapax Pads has a solution for you. Brought to you by the same aliens who brought you the Lyrapax tampons, Lyrapax Pads are made with a patented alien technology that combines the hair of angels with the fur of unicorns to provide an ultimate level of absorption while also being so soft and so light it's basically softer and lighter than the very air itself. patented alien technology collects all of your red honey down into a very tiny little handcrafted glass vial, which you can attach to this beautiful white gold chain, sold separately, and then give that as a gift to someone special to you. Badass! So do not delay. Email Bob today to sign up your box for its first box of pads for your box. Anywho, if you use promo code FNH at checkout, I will begin to experience sympathy cramps every time you use your Lyrapax pads. So please do not use that promo code, but sign up for your Lyrapax pads today. And now, on with the show. For our first segment, we absolutely must discuss the Rephaim. Now, my savvy listeners already know about the Nephilim, but a lot less is known about the Rephaim. The Rephaim are a race of influential and powerful giants. Some consider them to be fallen angels, and they also carry the name the Dead Ones. The Rephaim were killed by the Great Flood that the evil reptilians caused thousands of years ago in order to get rid of them. Or so we think. Today I am here to share the true. The Rephaim did not all die, and I'll tell you why. The Rephaim were giants, the bad giants, and they did eat people, and they also ate each other. As a result, they all started to look a little bit like zombies. That's why we called them the Dead Ones. But what isn't said about the Rephaim is that they loved the water. They were well adapted to the water. They lived on a beach on the coast of the Pacific Ocean. And just a little ways out on the ocean, they had a pyramid, a floating pyramid. And it was giant-sized, meaning big enough for giants to come in and out of. But the only way to access this pyramid was from underneath the water. The bottom of the pyramid had a moon pool. And the only way to get into the pyramid was to swim down underneath the water and up into the moon pool. And because they were so good at swimming, the only people who could really access this pyramid was the Rephaim themselves. So it was fine. But then some shit happened, and that pyramid sunk all the way down to the bottom of the ocean, the Pacific Ocean, containing the surviving Rephaim. And those Rephaim continue to live in their pyramid at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. Over time, they became even better at living under the water. They developed gills so that they could breathe underwater. And they got even better webbing between their fingers and toes so that they could move better under the water. Yep, just like Kevin Costner in the movie Waterworld. Yeah, Bob, I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Waterworld was kick-ass. Surviving and thriving at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean with their highly adapted water abilities, the Rephaim continued to survive and thrive. Sometimes they came up to the surface to snatch up some humans for the eating. Sometimes they came up to the surface to snatch up some ladies for the banging. Sometimes they would just stare up out of the water with a really creepy smile to scare the bejesus out of the humans on the shore. Over time, humans came to know them as water demons. And all that banging with the human ladies created an entire new species. Today, we call the offspring of the Rephaim and the human ladies mermaids. And this is where shit starts to get weird and scary. You see, when the Rephaim have babies with human ladies, all of those babies end up being female and super hot. But from the waist down, they are super weird. They got scales like a fish down there. All the way down their buttocks and legs, all the way down to their feet, which are actually flippers. And they like to keep both legs tightly held together at almost all times. And that way when they swim, it kind of looks like the ass end of a fish. And they share the Rephaim's taste for eating humans and banging them. Now, mermaids can have the sex with the Rephaim. However, they cannot make babies. It's pretty much just for fun. In order for the mermaids to make babies, they have to have the sex with human dudes. And this is where we get the tales of the sirens. What these super hot mermaids would do is come up to the surface, find a nice rock, and lay on that rock. And then they would start singing. Usually the lyrics to the very popular hit song by Rick Astley called Never Gonna Give You Up. Sometimes they would scream for help, luring in the human dudes. And sometimes they would just whisper the ingredient list for hash brownies in German. But whatever it was they chose to do, this would lure the human dudes to them for the banging and the baby making. Once the human dude came close enough to see how super hot the mermaid was, she would seduce him. Then she would have sex with the dude. In order to have sex, she would have to open her legs, and then she would put her feet up over her head. The dude would bang the mermaid, and then the mermaid would kill him. Honey Nut Cheerio! Scary. And this would lead to some of the mermaids getting preggers. And their offspring are the kind of subspecies of mermaids that you would find here at Hogwarts. This species of mermaids come in both girls and boys, and sometimes both. And they're a lot smaller and definitely not hot looking. They're about this big, ugly little fuckers. And this type of mermaid still does eat people. They attack in groups. So it's this creepy little frenzy of piranha-like mermaids just chomping at bits. Fucking terrifying. So scary. But let's sum up a bit. The Rephaim are a race of terrifying-looking giants that live in the Pacific Ocean. They are highly adapted to the water, and they eat people. The OG mermaids are super hot fish ladies. These other mermaids are half mermaid and half human dude. Now, if you are ever to encounter one of these mermaids IRL, you have 3 options. Getting eaten quickly, getting bagged and then eaten, or getting eaten slowly. Scary. Now, I could tell you more on this subject, but quite frankly, I'm bored and I want to get this podcast over with so that I can go back to watching The Young and the Restless. But I hope this brings some clarity to the subject of the Rephaim and mermaids for you. And now, let us simply explore the topic of the Loch Ness Monster, affectionately called Nessie. Hell, even the NPCs know. The Loch Ness Monster is a large, long-necked creature often spotted in or around Loch Ness in Scotland. With tales going back as long as humans have been telling stories, it is a legend so famous that even underwater exploration expert Jacques Cousteau did his best to try to find the elusive creature in Loch Ness. Well, I'm here to share with you the true about Nessie. It's real! Get your head out your ass! And there's more. More lake monsters. Now, the true is that whole Jacques Cousteau publicity stunt was just a cover for when the Illuminati went in and captured and relocated the Loch Ness Monster. They moved Nessie to a dam in... Oh, thanks, Bob. You're handier than a pocket in a shirt. And other bodies of water contain such monsters. Okay. Let's back up a bit. Dinosaurs aren't real. The whole mythology of the dinosaurs is a disinformation campaign meant to cover up the true about dragons and large lizards created by the Draco thousands of years ago. Nessie is one of those. The water kind. And as I said, there's more. More large lizards swimming around in bodies of water all over mostly America and America's Hat and some other less relevant places, such as the lake monsters in Lake Titicaca. That word's fun to say. The Lake Titicaca monster. There is Agapogo in the Okanagan Lake. Lake Okanagan in British Columbia. There is Champ in Lake Champlain, and there's one in Lake Erie called Bessie. There's a giant crocodile-like thingy in the St. Lawrence River. There's a giant snake-like thingy with a horse head in Lake Superior. And there's my personal friend named Igapogo in Lake Simcoe. The locals call her Kempenfelt Kelly. And there are many, many more. Now, these monsters are only monstrous because they look very scary. The true is, they're chill as fuck. Okay. They do knock some boats over sometimes, but it's fine. They only knock over the boats because they're a little clumsy, and they don't see so good. They rely mostly on echolocation, and echolocation doesn't do a very good job of showing them some of the boats up on the surface. Oops. It's fine. If people do happen to die because of one of these little happy accidents, that's only because the lake monster got a little bit too excited. Just imagine them as great big water puppies. They just want to play with you. They don't know how big they are and how strong they can be. They don't recognize that we can't breathe in the water. It's an accident. So remember, it isn't crushing you on purpose. It just wants to play. It's fine. Just be careful. Now, nothing would make me happier than getting to see Nessie disclosure given to the people. So, I've been working with the White Hats to make that happen. The White Hats and Daddy Donald H. Trump, of course. Unfortunately, Daddy Donald H. Trump has a lot of balls up in the air. He's working on many very important projects. So unfortunately, the Loch Ness Monster disclosure is not yet imminent. But it will be imminent imminently. So don't you worry. And I hope this brings some clarity to the subject of the Loch Ness Monsters and other lake monsters for you. And this is the time that feels like riding the skies on the back of a hippogriff. It's time for your Hopium. Hopium, Hopium, Hopium. And for your dose of Hopium today, Chanel will disclose to you the true about Atlantis. Now, most people know this as the lost city of Atlantis, described by Plato. But the true is, it was not lost. Plato got lost in the last city of Atlantis. It's fine, he was mistaken. Plato ate a whole handful of Atlantean magic mushrooms. He thought it was fine because he was used to eating handfuls of normal magic mushrooms. But with the Atlantean magic mushrooms, you only need a little nibble. That is how Plato got lost. He got too high, and he just wandered off. And he missed what really happened. Atlantis was never destroyed. It simply sank down to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. And as I said, it's fine. Because the last city of Atlantis was already covered with a giant dome. Kinda like the flat earth firmament, which kept it safe and sound even though it was now down at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. Now, in order to get into the true, we're gonna have to get in the Wayback Machine, and we're gonna have to go way back. So far back, you wouldn't even believe me if I told you. So I'm not gonna tell you how far back. Way back to a moment of time when all of humanity stared into the sky baffled as a large mothership UFO entered our atmosphere. That mothership had traveled here from a very far distant part of the universe, and that mothership contained aliens, of course. But more specifically, these aliens were a mix of different types of aliens who were trying to escape another planet controlled by the evil reptilians. They had traveled so far, and Earth looked so innocent, they assumed the evil reptilians had never heard of planet Earth. Oops. Ha ha. But that's not really today's story. These aliens told the humans of that time they were in fact aliens, and that the ship they were on was called Atlantis. And so, the humans went ahead and named these aliens, and they called them Atlanteans. Now, I'm not going to go into all the true about all of the many details of the many adventures that led us from ancient Atlantis all the way up to the last city of Atlantis. I'll just sum it up and give you the gist, like this. A spaceship came and humans met aliens. Humans called aliens Atlanteans. Aliens have advanced technology. We'll talk about the technology another time. So aliens use their advanced technology to build a super advanced city. Humans call that city Atlantis. But then the aliens built more cities, eventually creating an entire global empire. Eventually creating an entire civilization that spanned across the entire flat globe. Humans called that culture Atlantis. Then the evil reptilians came back, because they had been away for a while, and they went on to destroy everything that these other aliens had built, except for one city. They left that one alone for some reason. Reasons that we will discuss another time. Anywho, the humans then went on to call that city that survived that belonged to the OG aliens Atlantis. The last city of Atlantis. And that city is now at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. Those aliens, whom the humans dubbed so long ago Atlanteans, still exist. And they have gone on to build more cities all over the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. And we now call that collection of cities down at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean Atlantis. And this, my beautiful friends, is some very, very good news. Because those Atlanteans, those aliens at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, they're the good guys. And you remember all those orbs that we saw floating around in the skies over America? Fuck yeah! Well, these are super special, super secret, super advanced craft that belong to the Atlanteans. Yeah, that's right. And that's all I got to say about that for today. I don't want to cause any seizures or aneurysms due to too much hopium. But I hope this brings some clarity to the subject of Atlantis for you. Holy fucking shit! It's that time again. It's time for fan questions. Oh, look, Bob, they made you your very own Hogwarts cloak. Weird they placed you in Hufflepuff, but whatever. Happy for you, bud. Our first question comes from Maggie Enid in Virginia. She asks, do you have any siblings? Well, that's a tricky question. I guess you could say that I have 2 half-sisters and 2 half-brothers. But I can only tell you about one of them at a time. And since you asked, I'll tell you about one of them now. Well, I have this half-sister named Kunk. She's kind of famous. She's got this TV show called Kunk on Earth. Our next question comes from Laura Palmer posthumously. Laura asks, will there be more goddesses? And if so, how does one apply for the position? Well, Laura, first of all, thank you for the question and your expressed interest. But I'm staying the fuck out of that one. The answer is yes, but all of those decisions will be made by the original goddess. In fact, I think she might be recruiting a new one right now. But if you email Bob, he can share with you some more details. Our third question comes from Ra in the Arkham Asylum. Ra asks, can you jump higher than the CN Tower? Well, of course I can. Even you could do it too. Yes, even you. Because the CN Tower can't jump. And due to the intense volume and depth of all of the wonderful questions from my savvy listeners, I just can't keep up anymore. So, going forward, I ask you to send all of your questions to Bob at this here email address. Thank you, and you're welcome. Well, my beautiful friends, my savvy listeners, I've done it again. I'm not sure if you guys have figured this out yet, but the evil reptilians love it when you drink your fear and hopium. So you do you, boo. Keep doing what you're doing. Clearly it's working. And you can catch me live at the Dumb Conference in Tokyo, Japan next Tuesday. I will be giving a seminar on how to encode your thoughts and feelings into your drinking water. Neat shit. I will be doing that alongside Mr. Roboto. Dr. Roboto. What? Dr. Emoto? Whatever. Names. So don't miss it. And remember, just as my auntie used to always say, if you keep making that face, it's gonna get stuck that way. Alright. That's it. That's all.